Well, we've got a bit of news about the Toxic Avenger remake. There's been some new photos that's been released online, and I gotta say, it's starting to get a little worrisome. Now, in case you're not familiar with the Toxic Avenger reboot, I wrote some little notes down. There's been rumors of a remake since as early as 2010. And back then, they were planning on doing a PG-13 version, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to star. Yikes. Now, if you know anything about the Toxic Avenger, it's obviously not meant to be PG-13. There is the Toxic Crusaders cartoon series, but there was like a ton of that back in the 80s where they would take like a rated R movie like Aliens or RoboCop or Rambo and turn it into a kids show or kids toys. I don't know why. But hey, it worked. There's a lot of cool toys. I mean, I love my Kenner alien figures. But we're not here to talk about those. So yeah, there were talks about a Toxic Avenger remake for the longest time, and it wasn't until 2018 that Legendary Pictures acquired the rights, and in 2019 they announced that Macon Blair was to write and direct the movie. Now, I looked into him a little bit. As far as I know, his only directing credit is in 2017 for a Netflix film. Um, I can't remember the name. Something about like I don't remember. But Elijah Wood was in that movie. And then he has writing credits for Marvel and Dark Horse Comics. So, you know, bravo, bravo. So he's fairly new to the directing scene. And we've seen this before with other horror movies. And it's turned out, varying degrees of success. So I'm not discrediting Macon Blair for choosing to remake The Toxic Avenger. It's just such a very, very specific film that, a lot of people, including myself, are very worried about because when you hear the movie, or when you hear the word remake with a horror movie, you automatically start to tense up and, get on your defenses because there's not been a great track record of great horror remakes. There's been a pretty good amount, but not enough to make us feel completely safe. And it also seems like, when Hollywood's running out of ideas, that's their grab bag. A remake. Let's remake something or reimagine. And Peter Dinklage, who is the star of this film, has said that it is not a remake. I mean, then why call it The Toxic Avenger? But I mean, obviously, there's plenty of remakes that have nothing to do with the original. Rob Zombie's Halloween. Sorry. Um, got a bit of a cough there. Uh, so the remake started shooting in June of 2021 and it wrapped in August that same year. That is 2 months of filming. Actually, slightly less because I looked up the exact dates. It's like 1 week less. So, 2 months of filming. So, either that means they had their script, their effects, their actors, and everything in perfect order and they went boom, 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 boom and got it done, or some stuff got rushed. Maybe some stuff got cut. Because the original script was read by none other than Lloyd Kaufman, who gave it his approval. Now, I have some notes here. I will have some links down below the video to the IMDb page so you can look at the actors and the people involved in the film's making. I did try to see if there was any special effects artist involved that I recognized or that had some credits to the past. Nothing that really stood out. I guess one of them did effects on Gladiator 2. So take that however you will. And then I also have the article which triggered me wanting to make this video where they shared the new pictures of Toxic Avenger, which we will get to. But this is from a quote by Lloyd Kaufman about the Toxic Avenger remake. I didn't want to include the whole quote. You can look it up. You can look up everything that I'm talking about in this video. Behind the scenes photos. You can look up the trailer for this movie. There's only one so far. But Lloyd Kaufman, one of the original creators of Toxic Avenger, quoted, "Macon Blair knows trauma better than I do. He's seen everything. I've read the script, and it's better than the original." What? No. Lloyd Kaufman obviously is going to push trauma properties and, trauma appreciation however he can. And I've met him in person. He's a genuinely nice guy. So I have no ill will towards him or his thinking process, but I have to question if he knows what the hardcore fans want. Now, granted, there are toxic fan bases out there, and pun intended, Toxic Avenger probably has his share of toxic fans. I try not to be one of them, but I really, really, really hold this franchise dear and near to my heart. If you don't know, let me grab it. The original Toxic Avenger movie, I remember watching. It was the USA Marathon, maybe. I want to say it was the USA Marathon. Gilbert Godfrey hosted a marathon of Toxic Avengers Part 1, 2, and 3. And my aunts recorded it on a VHS tape, and that was how I initially saw them. I didn't see any of the violence or gore, but I loved those movies for what they were. I mean, they had some stuff, but they were still censored a little bit for television. So I grew up watching those three movies, fell in love with them, especially the first one. That one was like, that still is to my day, a comfort movie. Then you have like Citizen Toxie, which came out a little bit later than the other ones, and a lot of people agree it's not the best one, but it's not terrible. It's just, way out there. It's the edgy 2000s, if you will. And of course, you have a dick. You have a dick. If you're watching, you have a dick. Probably. Sorry, ladies. You probably might want a dick, or wait, we're getting way off track here. So Toxic Avenger, the first movie, different actor. Toxic Avenger 2 and 3, different actor. So I'm not saying, it has to be the same person every time. And they have done, we had the original actor, I can't remember his name, Mark something. He played Melvin Junko. Then you had a physical actor playing the Toxic Avenger, and then you had a voiceover actor playing the Toxic Avenger, which brings me to why this video is being made, because I saw the pictures of the Toxic Avenger, and as you know, Peter Dinklage is set to star as the Toxic Avenger, and Peter Dinklage is a man of certain stature and height. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and not that he could not play this type of role. But it did set off a lot of people going like, how the hell is this going to work? And I guess, controversially, these new pictures, these new images of the Toxic Avenger that have been released have kind of made people question this movie. Because this movie has been done since August 2021. And I think it hit film circuits, like festivals, around 2023. So it's been sitting. And one of the reasons people said that it wasn't being released is because they could not find a distributor. Now, whether that's due to the extreme nature of the film, the offensiveness, or someone watched it and says, this is not going to make any money, this is trash. Who knows? But they are being picked up by Cineverse. If you know who Cineverse is, they are responsible for releasing Terrifier 2 and 3 into theaters. I think they went back and released Terrifier 1, like a limited run. They could have. Wouldn't surprise me. But that got me excited when I heard, hey, Cineverse is getting Toxic Avenger out of purgatory and they're putting it in the theater so you can watch it. And I'm like, hey, that's great, because I kind of was excited about it. The first trailer, like I said, doesn't really give you too much, but it has a very trauma feel. And then if you saw any of the behind-the-scenes images, Kevin Bacon, of all people, is in this movie. But he was not the one I was excited about. It was Elijah Wood, because I can't remember his character's name, but the vibe I get from just his disgusting look is the Penguin from Batman Returns. And I've seen Elijah Wood in the Maniac remake, and he was fantastic in that. So I really want to see more Elijah Wood villain roles, and this would be the perfect opportunity. Now, as far as the Toxic Avenger goes with Peter Dinklage, I am open to giving him a chance and seeing how he does it. Even though he's playing this character, Winston Goose, such a weird name. I don't know why they couldn't just keep Melvin Junko. Maybe it's kind of a play on that. But he is not physically playing the Toxic Avenger. He's going to be doing the voice, and he's going to be doing the pre-Toxic Avenger character. Lisa or Louisa, I could be saying this wrong. Guerrero, she's doing the physical performance, while Peter Dinklage is going to be doing the vocals. Now, if that means there's going to be a lot of off-screen ADR, if there's going to be some trickery with the mouths and the syncing of the audio matching up, who knows? I would really, really hope that they have that part figured out because it's been, out for a while. And it's gotten pretty good reviews. I'm also going to link, there's an article where they share the pictures of the Toxic Avenger and they talk about the movie. They're basically, glorifying, praising it. But at the end of the day, it's up to you, the viewer, to decide what you enjoy. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go out and say, your opinion wrong, you suck, and flood comment boards. But I digress. People are going to do that anyway, so, And, I was tempted myself, but I said, hey, I don't know, this looks a little fishy, but let's give both sides of the story, let people know what's out there, what information. And like I said, most of it will be below, but there's plenty more that you can look up on your own. Rotten Tomatoes, I usually don't give a crap what they think about movies, but I was curious because I know most of the movies they cover are a little more mainstream, and this is kind of in the realm between mainstream and B-rate. And they gave it a 92%. That's pretty high for a Toxic Avenger movie. I didn't look at the previous films. I probably should have to compare. But I can't imagine they would give the original anything lower than a 90% because it is a great movie. Yeah, it's cheesy and it's a little dated at times, but that's what Trauma's known for. And especially in the 2000s era, that's when they started ramping up the offensiveness, as you can see with Citizen Toxie and some of their other films. But like I said, this is a movie that I and a lot of fans hold near and dear to their heart. So, of course, we're speculative. Of course, we're worried that this new Toxic Avenger reboot is not going to hold up to standards. With that in mind, though, I am willing to check out a second trailer. Apparently, this movie is not releasing till August. So, we got a few months away, and I imagine, baby. I imagine, baby. About 2 months before the movie comes out, I'm sure they'll have a second trailer, hopefully. And we'll get to see the Toxic Avenger kind of in action, or maybe we won't. Maybe they're hiding him completely because they were for a while at the beginning. Now, people have taken that as, hey, they're worried, people are going to hate on this. I mean, that's inevitable. That's the state of the internet. That's the state of movies. You have all these companies and film distributors putting out all these overblown budgets and just stuff that people are getting tired of. But people still see them. They still make a profit. So, the best thing you can do is if you don't want to see a movie, you don't have to bash anybody else for not wanting to see it, but just don't see it. But we got so many people that hate watching this day and age, and it just seems pointless. You're going to watch a movie that you know you're not going to like, then you're going to get online and tell other people that you don't like it. It's pointless. Basically pointless. Now, I will say I am very worried. I'm very concerned about this movie. But at the end of the day, I still have the original. I still have the sequels. I can watch those, and they'll always be an enjoyment for me. That means I don't care if the remake is good or not. So it'd be great if it is, but I'm not going to, get my hopes up high. But I am leaving room to say, hey, I'll give it a chance. I mean, I gave the Joseph Gordon-Green Halloween trilogy a chance. That didn't end too well. but that's neither here nor there. So let me know down below, what do you guys think of the Toxic Avenger remake? Are you guys going to check it out? I know I am. Even though, Toxie is near and dear to my heart, and I'm very worried that I'm not going to enjoy this. I'm going to go into it with an open mind. But let me know, do you think this movie is deserving all the hate it's been getting, or are you going to be giving it a fair shot like I am? And until I think of another video to do, I guess I'll see you around.